This is the Tail Air from OBSBOT, a tiny AI-powered live streaming camera, and for the first time it's on sale during Amazon Prime Day. OBSBOT is offering 10% off, which is a great discount for such a cutting-edge camera, but it gets even better if you use this discount code. You get an additional 5% off for a total discount of 15%. You'll find all the information in the description of this video. OBSBOT sent me the Tail Air to test and review, so I spent the last month or so testing it out, and there are a few features that really stood out to me. It is its low light performance, its AI tracking, and gesture recognition. To test out the low light performance, I went for a walk around town just before it was getting dark. I was surprised with how well the Tail Air performed. It has a 1/1.8 inch sensor and a 1.8 aperture, which produced a bright image. The camera was set to auto expose for most of the test, but there are times when you're recording in low light that you do want to make manual adjustments. Here you see the camera lit up the background, but the clock is overexposed, so I made some minor adjustments to the exposure. There is no magic settings for low light exposure. You have to mess around with the shutter speed and ISO until you get the results you want. But generally, you want the shutter speed slow and the ISO as low as possible. I like how the clock looks here with the background darker and the clock face properly exposed. I tested the auto tracking in low light and it worked well. I'm going to test out the auto tracking more later in this video. Here you can see some noise when I focus in on my face, but even when I digitally zoom in, the image quality is still decent. The Tail Air can record in 4K at 30 frames per second and 180p and 60 frames per second. The Tail Air at its core is a live streaming camera, and its low light capabilities makes it great if you're going to live stream, let's say, a music event, because those venues are pretty dark. The Tail Air is small enough you can take it just about anywhere. You can even use it to vlog. I took mine out to the woods to test out the auto tracking and the gesture control. The Tail Air isn't only meant for streaming. Right now I'm out camping over the 4th of July weekend up in the Black Hills of South Dakota. So I'm testing out the camera to see how it does in a variety of lights. I already did the low light test. I took some shots early morning. Now the sun is getting out, nice blue skies, and I'm going to test out some of the gesture controls next. And we'll see how the OBSBOT Tail Air does that. Right now I'm using the speakers that are in the camera so we can get an idea of the audio quality also. So I'm going to run through some of the gestures and see how it does. Auto zoom. You make the OK sign to stop and start recording. Okay, now I'll turn on human tracking, raising my palm, and the square is on me, and now it should track me. The AI was fast and responsive. It quickly identified the subject it needed to track, and even when I would do things to try to fool it, like here I am going to stand behind these trees and see how it does. So it stays with me here. I'm going to give it one more shot, get behind this tree, and the auto tracking starts to go off to the right. It stops, and I come out the other side and it picks me up. So it was pretty consistent on how it did. In addition to tracking humans, it can also track other objects like pets, and we'll see if we can get this to work with my dog Luna. She's not known to be the best for cooperating, but we'll give it a shot. Luna, sit. Sit. She listened just about as well as I expected, but the auto tracking did pick her up. You can see the box around her. And even when my other dog kind of comes in and passes her up, it stays with her.
The tail air did a good job with the auto tracking. It was following me, it followed my dog. When I was intentionally trying to see what it would do if I moved behind an object, most of the time it worked really well. It was able to pick me up when I continued past it. So far I've been really impressed with the tail air as far as the image quality, the auto tracking. It's done really, really well.
The P icon allows you to set up multiple shots. You could have a tight crop, a wide angle, maybe a little off to the side, and then it puts it into this grid. So while you're running the live stream, you can quickly select which angle you want to put a little variety into the stream.
In addition to using gestures, framing, you can do it manually to bring the shot tighter. And now you have that tighter shot. So you can do a lot of different adjustments within the app.
The tail air performed well in all of my tests. It is a great all-around live streaming camera that you can take and use just about anywhere, and I just scratched the surface of what it's capable of. Click on this video to check out the OBSBOT Me.